Welcome back to the Law of Attraction Tribe podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Keith. And today I want to start out by giving a little PSA that could actually help you or someone you know. It has to do with an incident that happened to me 2 days ago. Okay. So I was in the kitchen cooking dinner and I had boiled potatoes and I took them out of the boiling pot. And then I go to pick up the pot and dump it into the sink, which I've done a million times before. And this pot, it has a silicone cover on the handle, but then around that is metal. And as I was carrying it, the metal was burning my hand. So when I went to set it in the sink, I kind of dropped it. And it didn't drop that far into the sink, but when it hit the sink, the water, the boiling water splashed up all over my face and my neck. And I just immediately, I remember my dad telling me over and over again, because he was a fireman and he burns himself all the time too in the kitchen, to run cold water over it. So I put my face under the sink and just started putting cold water over it. Then I ran upstairs into the shower and got it as cold as I could and just stood under the shower and just let the cold water run over it. And then when I got out of the shower, I looked on ChatGPT because, you second guess everything. And all I was thinking is oh my God, my face is going to be burned. I'm going to have scars. I just felt like I'm so screwed. I can't even believe this happened. And thank God my kids weren't in the kitchen. I mean, I'm always very careful that they're out of the way when we're opening the oven or bringing boiling water to the sink. But it's just a freak accident, And so I looked on ChatGPT and it confirmed. It said, the best thing you can do, and really the only thing to prevent burns and scarring, is to immediately put your skin under continuously cold running water for at least 20 minutes. And that cools the skin down and is the best way to prevent burns and scarring. So I just kept doing that. After about 20 minutes, I grabbed some ice from the freezer and I made a little ice bath to put my head in. And there were red splotches that were visible. And I was just panicking, thinking oh my God. And, I, being into manifestation, I just kept thinking, okay, I'm just going to visualize waking up in the morning and my skin's going to look fine. It's going to be clear. Everything's going to be good. It's going to heal beautifully. And I wrote it down and I just kept reaffirming that over and over and over again. And ChatGPT, normally, it's so comforting, but it really wasn't that comforting. I was uploading my picture and it was yeah, it might blister, but it's too early to tell if there's going to be scarring. So you just have to send me another picture in the morning. So needless to say, I did not sleep at all that night. And when I did get up in the morning and I looked in the mirror, it was fine. The redness was gone. There was no damage at all, thank God. So I wanted to share that story because it's just been ingrained in me to put cold running water over yourself when you're burned. But I know there's also people that will say oh, put baking soda on it or all these different things like an ice pack. And you don't want to do that. The very best thing you can do to prevent more damage is cold running water. Just let it keep flowing. For ChatGPT said at least 20 minutes initially after the burn. It's the very best thing you can do. And then after that, when the skin has cooled down, Vaseline or Aquaphor was what it told me to do. So I put Aquaphor on my skin. But I just wanted to mention that because things like this happen. And if it does ever happen to you or someone immediately get them under cold water and let it run for at least 20 minutes. And that is the best way to prevent scarring. And I'm not saying it absolutely will because depending on the burn and everything, I'm sure there's, different timing and everything else, but running cold water, best thing you can do. So that's my PSA. Thankfully, I'm okay. It was very scary and just a freak accident that just, of all the times I've boiled water Nothing like that has ever happened. And I'm always like so cautious. And I mean, it just like it freaking jumped out of the pan onto my face. And it was like it happened in a split second. And it was terrifying, but the outcome ended up okay. So I just thought I would share that in case that happens to someone else and you're panicking and you're like, what do I do? What do I do? Cold running water. Okay. So the last few weeks I've been working on my new program. I talked about it in a recent episode where when I create a new offer, um, I do things very quickly because I have a system in place. And it never takes me more than a month to like launch something. And what's been happening is Subliminal Creation Lab has like just completely blown up. So many people have gone through it. And the feedback that I've been getting is okay, like I've got a whole playlist of subliminals or a library of subliminals. Now teach me how to turn this into a business, which I go over a little bit in Subliminal Creation Lab, but having an entire business from start to finish and a whole system in place is a big thing. Like it's not something you can just quickly implement. And what I found was a lot of people were getting stuck on that part. Like, okay, help me take this to the next level where I'm continuously getting traffic. I'm continuously getting people to see my offer. And once they see it, like they're going to buy it. And this is something that has taken me years to figure out. And the reason I think it's taken me years to figure out is because there's so many lies, quite frankly, out there. Most of what you see on social media about running a business is not true. And I listened to that advice and it didn't work out. And it was a very long, painful lesson. So I want to go over some of those things today because I want to paint a realistic picture of what it's like to get a successful business up and running. Because again, there's like so much crap out there that makes you think that, for example, we'll start with number one, that you have to have a big audience when you start your business. And this advice is so backwards. It's like nobody starts with a big audience, by the way, nobody. Like maybe if you're a celebrity and then you decide to start a business, okay, that would be an example. But nobody like starts a business or starts a podcast or starts anything with an audience, right? You all have to start from scratch and work up to it. But the good news is you don't have to have the audience built already to start a successful business. You need a system in place that is going to generate a consistent flow of traffic to you, your offers, your free resources, whatever it is you have going on in your business. And with my business now that I finally freaking figured it out, every month I get around 3,000 new leads into my business. So that means they found one of my free resources that I offer. They put their email in order to get the free resource. And now they're in my email list, right? So I can retarget them. Now they're paying attention. Now I've given them something that's valuable and is going to set the stage for other things that I offer. And what I found is in my analytics tool, it tells me how much every lead is worth. So my leads, and this has been consistent for a while now, are worth $7. So basically what that means is like when people come into your email list, obviously not everyone's going to buy. Some people will never buy. And some people will buy a lot and some will buy a little. And when you average it out, it is $7. So the way that I look at it is, okay, I have 3,000 leads coming in every month. Those are worth $7 over time, not instantly, but over time. That's $21,000 just from leads. over time, right? Like I'm going to nurture those leads and whatnot, but you get the point. So none of those leads, zero of those leads are coming from posting on social media, are coming from an existing audience that I built. These are all new people. It is cold traffic, people that don't know me, people that don't listen to the podcast. And yeah, I'm sure like there are some people sprinkled in, but this particular format that I'm using it's going out and finding people for me. So I say that to say, like, that's a perfect example of how you can get traffic right away, just depending on how much you want to invest and how much you want to set up and what kind of system you have in place that doesn't rely on an existing audience. And that brings me to the next misconception, which is that you have to have like the personality for it. Like, and I don't even know what that means, but I know from working with so many people throughout the years, people would say, I would love to have a business, but I'm not one of those people that like posting on social media. I'm introverted. I'm not outgoing. And so therefore, I can't have a business. I don't have the personality for it. And I think this comes from all this crap that we see online, all these like influencers and people. And yeah, if you want to be an influencer, then yeah, you have to have some type of personality that's going to, draw people in. But I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to depend on a platform that I don't own. I don't want Mark Zuckerberg's latest algorithm determining whether or not I'm successful. And that's just not a sound business plan. And it made me think of back when I worked in pharmaceutical sales. And there was like a myth with that as well, that if you have the personality and you're a people person and you become friends with the staff and the doctors, they'll buy from you. They'll write your script. And I had this boss who was like super analytical, and he was like, that's bullshit. That is not the case. And he would point out examples like, look, so and so is like super good friends with this doctor and they're not writing their product. They're writing the product because they believe it's a good product. People are going to buy from you because you have something that is of value to them. You're helping them solve a problem. You're helping them do something. You're giving them something that they find valuable. So you don't need a good personality. You need a good product. And so this whole idea that the only people that are successful are people that can be super outgoing and post on social media all the time it's just ridiculous. And don't fall for it, okay? Because you don't need it. You need to be able to fill a gap for someone. You need to give them a shortcut. You need to give them a solution. That is what they buy. And think about things you've bought, okay? I've bought from people that, yes, I like them and I like their personality, but I've also bought from people that I don't know anything about them. And their personality is kind of like, whatever. Like, I don't care because they're giving me a product that I need, that they're teaching me something or they're giving me value that I need. And so I buy their product and I don't care really what their personality is. So I just wanted to clear that up. And that brings me to the third thing, which is, again, like the social media thing. And this is probably the biggest one. This is where so many people get caught up, and so many people get caught up on it because the way the algorithm is set up, it's like pure luck if you become big and go viral or not. I mean, really, it is luck at this point. Like, nobody has the freaking algorithm figured out. As soon as Meta figures out that you're a business, they want you to pay for ads. They don't want to push your content for free. And let's just like look at this for a second in like the normal world, okay? Any brand, any business that you can think of, they're not going to their board of directors and saying, okay, our plan for Q3 is to go viral on social media. Like, that is not a business plan. hoping to go viral on social media is not a business plan. Okay. They go to their board of directors with a strategy of how to get traffic. If it's a store, how to get more foot traffic. If it's an online business, how to get more online traffic, how to get more people to see your stuff. There is a strategy behind that. Okay. And you can tell from the strategy about how much traffic you can expect. And then from that, you can reasonably determine how many people will buy. All right. It's like a formula that every business follows. But social media has you thinking, well, you've got to be posting 3 to 7 times a day for an entire year before you can sell anything. And I'm telling you, like, that's not the case. Any successful company that you look at, they're not putting their money on social media virality. They're putting their money on strategies and systems that are proven, that work, that bring in traffic. And they're not counting on any one person to go and make them viral. Okay, so that's not a sound business plan. And I see so many people wasting a lot of time trying to get a bunch of followers on social media. And then when they don't, they think, well, I'm not good at this. I suck. Nobody that's following me on social media wants anything to do with me. They're not giving me their email address. They're not buying from me. So I suck and I'm going to give up. And it's not that you suck. It's not that you have a bad product. You could have the best product in the world, but you're on the wrong platform trying to get people to buy that really just want to be entertained. Okay. So I just want everyone to get it out of their head for a second. Or better yet, think about, okay, if I didn't have to post on social media, would I be more willing to follow my dreams and start a business? Would I be more willing to go through with it if it meant I don't have to become this personal brand that I share my whole life with online? Because you don't need that. You just need a system that doesn't require you to post on social media. Okay. And that's the system that I have generated that took me a really long time. And I had to do it because I built a social media following and it wasn't equating to sales. And then the algorithm changed and I had to figure out like how to get more people to see my stuff. So thank God the whole social media thing, it's just bad advice. It's bad advice. And then the other thing is people get hung up with the tech and think like, okay, well, I don't know how to create these like big, huge courses, these masterminds. Like, I don't know how to do all that stuff. I'm not very techie. It's very daunting. And they're right, it is. Like, even now, building a bigger course is daunting. Masterminds for me, daunting. But what I'm finding now, and I think the market is shifting in a big way, is that people are looking more for like micro offers, quick solutions to problems. Like, that is doing better than these big, huge, time sucking programs. And so it's a great time to test the waters because it doesn't take a whole lot to create a micro offer, a little digital product. It takes hardly any time at all, thanks to technology. And it's like the easiest entry, because you create it once and then you can sell it over and over and over again. It's not like you have to show up every single day. And that's the power of creating digital assets. You create it once, one time. So yes, you put in the work and the effort up front to create this digital asset. But then that can go on to sell over and over and over again for years. And when I tell you years, I mean in 2021, when I started creating digital assets, they are still selling to this day. And I created it 5 years ago. And I haven't touched it since, like literally have not touched it in 5 years, and I still get sales for it. That's the power of creating digital assets. And it's the power of getting started now and not waiting for some perfect scenario, you know? Like imagine it's 1 year from today. Okay? 1 year from today, it's the summer of 2027, and you're looking around at your life and it's the same as right now. Okay? It's the status quo. You have maintained your life. You've maintained whatever it is, whether it's your job, your income, your relationships, your hobbies, where you live, everything's just maintained and it's the status quo. All right. Would you be looking back and thinking, man, I wish I would have done the thing a year ago? Or would you be like, oh, I'm glad I'm still in the same spot? Because the majority of people are going to think, like, no, I want to improve. Like, I don't want to be in the same spot a year from now. But they don't take action. And the reason they don't take action is because, number one, there's all these misconceptions on what it takes to start a business, for example. But the other thing is, our mind actually tries to keep us stuck in the status quo. And this is a survival thing, right? Like your subconscious is trying to keep you alive, it's trying to keep you safe. And so it tries to keep the status quo because think about it. If you go way back through our evolution, right, and you veer from the status quo, you leave what you know, you very well could die from it, right? It's a big, scary world out there. And your subconscious is purposefully going to try to keep you in your routines and your day-to-day habits because it thinks that it's keeping you safe. And so what happens is when you think about doing something different, your mind goes, well, what if I fail? What if I pick the wrong thing? The timing's not right. And it'll give you a million reasons why you shouldn't take action and do something outside of your comfort zone. But what happens, and this has happened to people that I have worked with, you decide it's not the right time. I got to get better at this. I've got to wait for this. I'm not an expert enough yet. I've got to do more training, blah, 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 blah. And then what happens is someone else who is less experienced than you just decides, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going for it. And they get started and they end up getting the success. And then you see them a year from now and you're like, well, what the hell? I could have done that. They don't even know what they're talking about. I could have done that way better. But you didn't. That's the whole thing. You didn't. They took the action, even though they weren't quite prepared and they weren't an expert. They took the action anyways. So what you need isn't like a perfect idea. It isn't a certification or anything like that. What you need is just momentum. You just need to get started. And so knowing that, I put together a 30-day roadmap because like I said, I get stuff, it's so fine-tuned. I get stuff launched very quickly. It takes me like a few days, certainly never a month. However, when you're starting from scratch, I know like there is a learning curve. So I stretched it out to a 30-day roadmap. And in that 30 days, it is a lot of work and there is a lot of action that you have to take and things that you have to set up. But once you set that up and you get this machine running, it runs for you on autopilot after that. And it will continue to serve you for years and years and years. And that's my whole point with this is like you don't have to have all of the knowledge, all of the skills. You don't have to wait for some mythological time where everything is perfect and you're ready. That time is never going to come. You just need to get started. So that's my goal with the Income on Autopilot program that I'm launching, is to get people started. And the good thing about having a system versus hoping to go viral on social media is a system is copyable. Or at least mine is. It's copyable. It's proven. Like lots of businesses use the system. And so you can use it. You can apply it to any niche, any product. It doesn't matter as long as it's like a digital asset, just so that you have freedom. You create it once and you don't have to keep creating it every single time someone orders. But when you have the system in place, it's like you put it in place and then it's there and it's working for you. And so what I've found is that none of my business, virtually none of it, is coming from social media. And that was the hard truth that I had to look at when I went back and looked at my analytics. I was like, oh my God, I've been putting like the majority of my time into social media and I'm like, nothing is coming from it. Like literally nobody gives a shit. And so I told my friend the other day, I was like, I'm just done. Like for a while, I got just done posting. And then I told her the other day, I'm like, you know what? I used to love social media. Like when I first got started with Law of Attraction Tribe, I loved it. And I loved it because I wasn't posting to sell anything. I wasn't posting to grow a business. I was posting because it felt good. Like I was sharing what was on my heart to share. And I'm like, if this works for me, then maybe it can help other people. That's how I got started on social media. And it like, I thrived on that. Like it felt good. And it's just warped into this like icky thing that I didn't like. And I told my friend, I'm like, maybe it's that, not that I don't want to post on social media. I just want to have fun again on it. And I want to quit posting with some like outcome in my mind. I want to just post the fun and positive and good things that I'm learning about. And so I know I'm going on a tangent, but I do have a point to all of this. So we went on a little mini vacation, my friend and we brought our kids, and it was just so much fun because I completely like let go of any worry of my business. Like I did bring my laptop just because, like if I don't, there's going to be that one email of like, hey, I can't get into my program and I don't want to like be helpless and not be able to help somebody. But so I brought it, but I told myself like, I'm not going to go on this. If there's an opportunity in the morning when everyone's still asleep and I'm drinking my coffee and I want to check my numbers, great. But I didn't put like that burden on myself. I'm like, I'm just going to go and have fun. And then I was like, I'm just not even going to worry about social media, nothing. Like I literally just went without a care in the world. And I think we all need that little like reset to just step away from everything. And the ironic part of it all is by doing that and by giving myself permission to not worry about my business and not worry about posting on social media, so many ideas came through. And so the last night of the trip, all the older kids decided they were going to go to the pool. It was the evening. And I'm like, I'm going to stay back because Aiden looks like he's going to fall asleep. And so my friend's like, well, I'll stay with you. I'm like, oh, you go have fun. She's like, no. I just want to relax. So she pours us some wine. And I don't know about you, but like I have all of these hilarious posts on social media that I save with the idea that like someday I'm going to recreate these, but I never do. And I just pulled out my phone. I was like, hey, did you pack a white robe? And she was like, actually, yeah. Did you? And I was like, yeah, because she had given me one for my birthday. I'm like, yeah, the one that you got me for my birthday. And I was like, go put it on. And she's like, okay. And so we did that. And I'm showing her these posts. I'm like, we're going to make these posts. And she's like, oh, what are you doing? Like, no, this is so cringy. We can't. And I'm like, you know what? Who cares? Like, we don't ever have to post it. Let's just do it. This looks like fun. So we start making this reel, which like this one reel took like an hour to make because we were laughing so hard. We had to keep stopping because like we couldn't even do it. We were just dying laughing. And I told her, I'm like, I don't remember the last time I laughed so hard. It was like the deep belly laugh, where like it was like uncontrollable. And it was so much fun. And then Amelia sees us having fun. She's like, I want to do it. And we're like, sure. So then she joins in. And then the older kids come back and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, come on, like, let's do this together. And so we ended up just doing these like silly, goofy reels that have zero to do with my business whatsoever. And we made them. And like, I was looking at them and I'm like, the old me definitely would have been like embarrassed or thought like this is cringe or whatever. But I just don't care. I was like, this was so much fun to make. And it got me in that playful vibrational energy. I'm telling you, that energy is magnetic. It is gold. It's like when you get in the energy like a kid has, right? Of just having fun for the sake of having fun. Just that playful energy where you're not expecting anything out of it. You're just letting yourself really just be real and authentic and stupid and silly, and you don't care how you look. You're just having fun. That energy is so potent. And it's like, I figured, okay, if I post this and other people see it, maybe they'll pick up on that energy. And I think they did, because a lot of people were like laughing hysterically. They're like, we're not even in the video, we're laughing hysterically. Because I think you could just feel that energy. And I was like, that's what I want to get back to on social media, is just sharing that level of energy with people and just doing it for fun, like, and not having it tied to my business. I can run ads for my business and I can make social media fun again. So that's where I'm at. And I think for my life and for my mental health and just my overall well being, I feel like it's a really good place to be, because I've put so much stress and pressure on myself for years around social media and thinking like I have to have this certain level on social media or with the podcast. And I've just come to realize it's why. It's all ego. None of it is equating to more sales. I've figured out the sales portion. I've figured out how to run a successful business. All this other stuff was just my ego telling me like, well, people take you more seriously if you have more followers. And it's just, I'm done with that. Like, it's not where I want to be anymore. And I wanted to share it with you guys because, again, I spent years trying so hard and putting so much pressure on myself, and none of it was necessary. You don't need any of that in order to start a business and to be successful and to make sales. So, anyhow, I'm sharing my system, and this is my updated system. I've made courses in the past where I share it, and those are great. But you live and you learn. And with all of the technology and with AI and everything else, there's so many things I've been able to fine tune and like really get it down to a science of like, you put this in, this is what you get out, to where I can sit down and forecast my next quarter. And then I can be like, okay, ChatGPT, let's double this. Like, how do we grow? And then we can grow from there. But in order to do that, you have to have a system in place that's giving you consistent results. And that's what I'm sharing. And so it's called Income on Autopilot, because the whole idea, back to when I first started Law of Attraction Tribe, and I've kept this ever since, is I want to help you manifest a life you don't need a vacation from. I feel like I've achieved that for myself. When I look at my life now, like I'm homeschooling my kids. I get to be the stay-at-home mom that I used to be so envious of. And I don't work that much. Like, recording this podcast is like the biggest, like, quote unquote work that I have in my week. Everything else runs on autopilot. And that's what I want to teach other people how to do, because I think everyone deserves to manifest a life they don't need a vacation from. We're out of the era where you have to postpone your life in order to work so that someday when you retire, you can enjoy life. Like, fuck that. Enjoy life now. Do what you want now. If you want to be home with your kids, be home with your kids. If you want to travel, travel. If you want to pursue whatever it is that's lighting you up, pursue whatever it is that's lighting you up. And in order to do that, we need money, right? We need income. And there is a way to do that without depending on a company, a boss, working, 40, 50 hours a week. And so all of that has kind of like culminated into this program that, like I said, it's 30 days, and it's not an easy breezy 30 days. It's 30 days of I'm going to sit down. I'm going to get this shit done. I'm going to stop with the excuses. I'm going to take action. And when Stephanie says this has to get done this week, I'm getting it done this week because I know that by doing that, it's going to free up all of my future weeks for me to do whatever it is I need to do. So that's the mentality that I want you to have going into this. And if that sounds interesting to you, look out on Tuesday for an email. So I'm going to launch it on Tuesday, and there will be a special like founders launch price on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, the price is going to go up. And then on Thursday, the price is going to go up. So just keep a lookout. If you're not on my email list, like what the hell are you doing? I'm just kidding. But if you're not, you can go to the lawofattractiontribe.com. I've got free resources posted all over my website. Any free resource that you get of mine where you put your email in, you'll be on my list. And then you can keep a lookout. Plus, I'll be posting it, probably on Instagram stories. I'll have it on my website. But I would just say, like, if you really do want to start a business, you want to create more freedom in your life, then this is for you. Do you need to already have a digital product? No. If you have one already, great. So this is going to be amazing for anyone who's done Subliminal Creation Lab or like the AI product builder course and you already have your product. It's just going to make that 30 days like that much easier. But if you don't yet have one, I help you with that. Like we go through all of it. And it's just everything that's in my head, everything that I've applied to my business to get me to this point is wrapped up in this program. And my intention in creating it is that this is going to help other people create freedom in their life and manifest a life they don't need a vacation from. So that sounds interesting to you, then keep a lookout Tuesday. I'll put a link in the show notes to get you on my email list if you want that reminder so you can get in for the lowest price. And I can't wait to see what all comes from this. I want to cheer you guys on. As you are creating your products and starting your businesses, share them with me. Like I want to share them. I want to help in any way that I can because that lights me up more than anything. Knowing like, hey, there's some other mom out there that was in a day job that was giving her panic attacks and now she's created freedom. If I had something to do with that, like, oh my God, let me shout it from the rooftops and help cheer you on and build some momentum. So I can't wait to see what all you guys create. And as always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next episode.